Hey there YouTube, it's Marvin here. Today I have a VEVOR canister filter that I'm going to be installing in my 96-gallon Mbuna Cichlid tank. So let's start by unboxing to show you guys what comes inside the box. Inside the box we have the inlet and outlet tubes. Also we have two 4-feet hoses, an intake guard, a spout, rubber suction cups, and two quick connect valve connectors. Also comes with a spare glass tube for the UV light, an instruction manual, and finally the beautiful canister filter itself. On top of the canister there is a protective film, which is why it looks dull instead of shiny. I am just gonna leave it on. It doesn't bother me at all. I love that the pump to prime the canister has cover. It makes the filter look sleek and clean. To open it, you have to release the lock on 4 sides. Then you can lift the head out of the canister. As you can see, the rubber gasket is installed on the top instead of on the side, which is going to sit on the lip of the canister when closing it. That also means it will seal properly and it's not going to leak, compared to the flubal canister, which is the O-ring gasket is on the side. Talking about the flubal canister, a year ago I uploaded a video on how to remedy if it starts to leak, which they are known to. If you want to see that, I put the link in the description below. This is the 5-stage version, so it comes with 5 trays loaded with biofoam, bio balls, and ceramic bio rings. Upon checking the impeller, I found out that the impeller is unique and feels robust. It's not a typical impeller that you can see on most canister and filters or water pumps. The 4-stage version and lower uses the typical type of impeller, but take note that the one I have in this video is the 660 gallon per hour. VEVOR has 2 versions of the 5-stage and the other one is 528 gallon per hour, so I'm not sure if they are using the same type of impeller as the 660 GPH. And here is the head of the 4-stage that I installed in my 60-gallon tank. This is just to show you how to remove and replace the UV light bulb. It's the same design as the 5-stage, so you can use it as a guide if you need it in the future. So I use my garden gloves. It has like rubber coating here for better grip, and this is really tight, so just have to be patient. There you go. Oops. Okay, so just gonna remove that. I think it can stay there, and then you can remove the glass, and it got like a red O-ring. It's a rubber seal, and I believe that this one should just come off. There you go. So there you go. Just to show you guys right there. Okay, so let's put it back. Go and put the glass back. Right. Right. I think that's good. Right, so that's how you replace the bulb. Let's put this back, but before that, just gonna wash it as well because we already removed it. The hose that comes with it is really good. As you can see, there's no kink anywhere because it is very thick. The only complaint I have is the 2-stage to 5-stage. The length of the hoses are the same 4 feet. In my opinion, people who buy bigger filters, meaning they have a bigger tank as well, so the hoses should be longer. I would say that for the 5-stage is at least 5 or 6 feet in length. Here is to show you the actual dimension of the canister. I know this might be the most boring part of this video, but for some of you who have limited space in their aquarium stand, this is going to be very useful. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash everything and then we're going to install it. But before that, I just want to make sure that the plastic pan that I bought from Dollarama, which is right there, it's going to fit. Again, this is just for additional security, even though I know that it's not going to leak, but the chances is always there, right? So that is perfect. And I choose the one that is not too deep. This is just shallow, so that when you have to remove the whole canister, you don't have to lift it up so high. So just like that. I already tested it under my aquarium. This pan here is just perfect. Every time you disconnect the hose through the quick disconnect, there's always a little bit of water that's gonna come out from there. So like even I have the pan, I always use the old towel, wrap around it, and then take it off just to make sure that there's no water gonna go inside in the cabinet of my tank, right? So that is perfect. Again, look at that, right? So I'm gonna show you like how it looks like under my aquarium. Here I decided to use some felt board under the pan so that I could slide it easily if I needed to move the canister inside a stand when I had to clean it. I also made sure that I put enough because once the canister is filled with water, it is gonna be very heavy. Alright, so that's how it looks like inside the cabinet of my aquarium. I had to remove the drawers that I have here. I have 2 drawers I have on the other side as well. And this is exactly the reason why I don't want a sump pump, because it's going to occupy, you know, the inside of the cabinet. As you guys can see, I have a lot of stuff in here. I have the sensor light as well. So what's my plan is, oh, by the way, that's the supply for the UV light that I have. It's right there. Because this canister has a built-in UV light that's gonna be disappear, so my tank's gonna look a lot cleaner. I wish that the center also opens, but it does not. So but that's not a big deal, I can just slide it. That's why I put that felt board underneath the pan so that it won't damage this surface here as well, right? So yeah, so that said, I'm going to remove everything here so that the filter can go inside. All right, so let me go ahead and remove the tray filter from my tank. As you can see, those plastic tubes are very cheaply made, and I always have to be careful not to break them every time I clean them up. I am going to reuse all the bio rings into the canister filter aside from the foams. They have been cycled, so it has beneficial bacteria already. That way it will help to grow the good bacteria a lot faster into the new bio rings that comes with the VEVOR filter. And so here it is, and to my surprise, I almost fit all the bio-rings, the biological media, in one tray of the VEVOR filter. So like, look at the amount of that. This is only the leftover from the tray. And this, I'm not gonna use this anymore. And this one is just too high, so I cannot put that in. So I decided to use some of the bio balls, but I still have lots of room here, I guess. I'm gonna put one of the foam on top of it. Since I have this guy here, I bought this. I only needed the sponge for the intake. This is the one I use all the time. So I was also, this is the Tafin whatever Pro 30 power filter media pack. Comes with a small amount of bio rings. So I'm gonna put it in there. Also, probably, I'm not sure if I should use the small carbon right there, but I have no use for this one. I probably rather to drop it there if it's going to fit. So I'm going to wash this thing and then dump it there. Right, I'm just gonna wash it. Oh, it's actually, forgot if it's in the bag. Right, so that's good. Again, I'm not a professional fish keeper. I'm just been in the hobby for like last December 11, like that's my anniversary to this fish keeping hobby. So I think I'm just gonna drop it on top here if it's gonna fit, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. Just a small carbon anyway. So hopefully it will fit with the foam on the top. I'm not really sure, right? So yeah, so I'm gonna wash all the bio rings, and then I'm gonna wash the bio rings from the tray. I haven't washed it yet, but I'm gonna use the water conditioner before I do that. So what I did here is I moved all the bio rings into one tray and combined the two black foams into one tray as well, and added some floss on the very top tray. I think this way is better. Let me know what you guys think. Right, so the bucket is full. I just prime it a little bit, and then now I'm gonna plug it in. It's noisy because you guys can see there's lots of air. Yes, now it's remaining quiet. There you go. I think it's open this. Oh, alright. So once there's lots of air, you just have to open the prime, whatever you call this, and then it will try to remove the air bubbles. Now it's really quiet. Wow. And the UV light is on for 8 hours. You can set it to full 24 hours, for 4 hours, 8 hours, and 24 hours. And now you guys can hear it. You can't hear it anymore. This is, look at the flow of the water right there. I'm just gonna let it run for a while, and then we're going to install it in my tank. You just have to make sure that the tip of the hose is gonna go all the way down there to make sure that it's not going to leak. I've done this before with the 3-stage and the 4-stage, so I'm hoping that I'm kind of professional now, just pushing the hose all the way right there. So, and this is just a hand tight, so this is just to secure the hose. That's it. Be careful because this is plastic, so you don't want to force that if you have a strong hand. I don't have a strong hand, so that should be good. So we're gonna do the next one. Wiggle it, and you guys can see that it's sitting all the way, right? Again, just tight that. That's good. Now, installing the inlet and outlet tube, I cannot just go over the tank because the cover of the tank will hit it and probably break it every time I open the lid. That said, I had to install it through the holes, and I'm so glad that I figured out how to do it. Also pay attention, the inlet and the outlet tubes are not exactly the same. As you can see, the outlet tube on my left hand has a slightly smaller hole and has 3 grooves, compared to the inlet, which has a slightly bigger hole and only has 1 groove. Right, so for the intake, I'm going to use the surface skimmer. Okay. What do we have here? Yeah, so this is the intake, this is the skimmer. It's gonna go like that. There's also have adjustment here to restrict the water that coming into the surface skimmer. So this is the, I believe so. Just have to make sure. Yep, that's how it goes. Yeah, there is a stopper right there, that's not a rubber, and then this one can be adjusted as well, and it's gonna go here. I'm not sure if I need an extension, but let's see. Alright, so I'm gonna use the extension. My tank is quite high anyway, so that, and this one can go, this is the adjustment here, can go shorter if I want to, right? This one is just gonna float and then it's gonna spin because of the design right there. You can see that it's diagonal design. So once the water start going in and your water level is correct, that is going to spin. Right, so I'm not sure yet if I'm going to use the spray bar instead of the spout. The spout is very small for me. I wish this spout is dual, but that seems really small. Look at that, that's going to restrict the flow of the water. So I think I'm going to use the spray bar instead. There, so I'm going to extend that. I'm going to use both so that I can have like the maximum flow of the water, right? So, oops, that elbow, I think that it goes there. Right, so okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna rinse it and then yeah, install it in the tank. Especially this rubber here, this action, I would like to rinse that as well. This one I'm not gonna use it. By the way, the quality of the tubing actually is premium, especially if I compare it to the tubing of my tray filter. My tray filter, you twist it a little bit, the tubing will just crack. I also love it that it's see-through so that you can see if it's how much dirt like build up inside. I did fill up the canister with water, but not full, but still it's quite heavy. When you're doing this, be careful with your back, and you can see that I can slide the white tray so easily because of the felt board that I installed underneath, and it's not going to damage the surface of the cabinet floor as well. So I hook up the hose to the outlet tube temporarily, not all the way, and as you can see that the hose is not long enough to reach the filter. The 3-stage and the 4-stage that I bought, they come exactly with the same length of the hose. So Vevor should think about it that like if you go buying a bigger filter, it means they have a bigger aquarium or longer aquarium as well. So they should send 2 7-foot hose instead of like the same 5 feet. You know, like it doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drill a hole right here. So I drill a hole using the tools here, right there, and I choose to drill a bigger hole than the original one. It's right there. It's my sensor. I think that's gonna give me a lot of room for the hose to, you know, like to bend in case. I'm lucky that I have enough gap like to the wall so the drill doesn't reach there. So I'm gonna try it. Hopefully it's gonna work. So, and then I'm going to make another hole on the other side. All right, so it's right there, and look at how much slack I have, and I can connect that to the out right there, and it's not gonna, the hose not gonna be stressed because the hole is big, and I already attached the hose to the outlet permanently right there. So I'm gonna drill a hole on the other side, and yeah, can finish the job. All right, so I made another hole on the right side. That's the first one. By the way, this is my air pump. This is Marina. I got it from Amazon for $15, and you guys can see that it's very quiet. That's the brand right there. Right, I think right now it's upside down. Yeah, so it's just a single output. I think they have the dual output as well, but I don't really need this dual output in this aquarium. And it's driving the sponge filter. And any DIY project that you do, if you have the proper tools, of course, it's gonna make your life easier, just like this one here. So I drilled that hole like in less than a minute using these tools in the drill. Right, so because I have floating plants, lots over there, so I have to make sure that they're not going into the surface skimmer. So I just did the kind of like a MacGyver solution right there. This is just like the leftover that I use for my 20-gallon right there. So I don't have like the right length that can just go straight all the way here. I'm gonna get more of this so that I can, you know, like just put from here up to here, just across, to stop the floating plants from going here. Make this one straight because you can just move it around wherever you want it. So right there, once the filter is on and starts sucking water into the canister, this one should start spinning as well. All right, so time to turn it on, time to test it, and then I'm gonna put the cover back on so that we can turn the light on. There you go. You have to hear that click again, because this is like separate. You can just position like each hose wherever you want, and you guys can see that I put the string here, tied it down on the upper frame just to make sure when I disconnect it later on, it's not gonna go in the hole and then goes to the back of the aquarium. That's gonna be annoying, and then yeah, this will save you some frustration later on. So the same thing on the other one, there's also string that's securing it, and yeah, so they already plug in the filter, but it's not on yet. I have the towers bar on the other side right there. As you can see, I have lots of cables there because I'm also charging the cell phone, because it has like 4 USB ports. If you guys interested, I'm gonna put the link in the description below. I also have the LED light on the top, which is you can just touch to turn it on and off. And this is 4 sides, yeah, so like 4 sides with 3 outlets on each side. There's also have individual switch on all 4 sides, so you can turn it on and off. That's what I like. All right, so that is open, and that's the reason why I want to put it in the center, because I have like plastic drawers on both sides. The one is outside right there. I don't want to lose that because all my stuff are there, like chemicals and stuff, and I have to add more sensor lights. It's also rechargeable. So let's, where is it now? Okay, drop it, found it. Right, so let's Alright, there you go. You know what, I have to make sure as well that the valve here it's fully open. Yeah, it's fully open. There. Also on the other side. Yeah, it's fully open. Alright, so let's prime it again. The water's coming in. Let's fill up the. It's gonna fill up the canister. Just want to make sure that there's enough water inside the canister before turning on the motor. The other hose right there too. And here you can see I think this should be good, right? Okay, turn on, and I'm gonna turn the switch on. I don't hear it running. Oh, there you go. It's running now. Right there. And you guys can see right there, it's very quiet. It's just very quiet. You can hear a little bit noise because still have air in the system, but it's very quiet. Let's move to the other side. So I'm gonna leave the UV light on 8 hours a day, and let's see how it's gonna work. You know what, I'm just gonna change it to 24 hours for now, just to make sure. That's off, and that's 24 hours. Okay, working perfectly now, aside from it's making a little bit noise because there's still lots of air in the system right there. You can see that. It's my fault because I installed the sponge filter very close to the intake, so the bubbles, it goes to the surface skimmer. So for now I turn it off. Let's see if I can make this thing quiet. As you can see, there's still lots of air coming out from the canister. What I did actually is I shake the canister. So you hear that? Shake a little bit, and all the air just dissipate, and now it's really quiet. It's running right there. How much more if the cabinet is already closed, right? So I'm just gonna show you guys right there at the top. Alright, so I got a very good agitation of the water. All the floating plants goes in the middle. And this is my favorite part of it, the surface skimmer. You guys can see it's spinning and it's bouncing right now. It shouldn't bounce because that bouncing thing is like catching some air bubbles. Supposed to be, yeah, supposed to be just like that, I think, because the water, you know, it's moving. So yeah, but otherwise it's really good. You can see right there as well. And if you guys can see on the other side here, there you go. Alright, and here to show you, I turn on the sponge filter again, and you can see lots of bubbles coming out from the spray bar because the surface skimmer is sucking bubbles from the sponge filter. Also, the reason why the surface skimmer is bouncing up and down is because I set the spray bar pointing upwards, which make the water surface wavy. If I want to solve that, I can just point the spray bar downwards and the surface of the water will be quiet. So here it is. It's over 2 months now. It's actually almost 3 months now since I installed the filter, and I left that spray bar pointing upwards because I want that agitation on the surface of the water. As you guys can see that my tank is overstocked. I want that oxygen like all over the tank. And again, so far so good. Right there. And I have lots of stuff in there. And This is not the first filter I bought from VEVOR. I also have the 4th stage here in my 60-gallon. Just to show you here, I also have a sensor light. It's right there. The motor noise that you can hear is not from the filter, that's from the air pump under there. And the same thing, I have a tower power bar which has all the switch on the side. And I also bought a 3-stage one which I installed in my friend's 40-gallon aquarium, as you can see right there. And lastly, I also bought another one for my 20-gallon right there. I haven't installed it yet, as you can see it's still in the box, so it's gonna be my next video about the VEVOR filter, so stay tuned. So that's the installation and review of the VEVOR canister filter. For everything that I cover in this video, I will put the link in the description below. Disclaimer, it will be my Amazon affiliate link. It will not cost you anything. If you click my link, you will get the same price of that item. The only thing is that Amazon will give me a little commission, and for that, thanks in advance for your support. And don't forget to click the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.